Grand Rising. Thank you very much for your love and your support. Thank you very much for taking time to watch and view this video. And thank you very much for your subscription, your like, and you sharing my content. It is growing because of you. I really do appreciate it. Now, don't forget to meditate every single day. Don't forget to sun gaze every single day. Don't forget to do yoga every single day. Don't forget to detox your body every single week. And don't forget to keep up with your healthy diet every single day. It is important. When you follow all of this practice, now you're securing your place to reach your higher consciousness, higher level. This is all about the attitude and your diet, the practice you're having to connect with nature in order for you to establish a relationship between you and your higher self that's going to help you build yourself up spiritually and reach your higher consciousness. You want to be a fully ascended master. This is how you do it. You keep up with all the spiritual practice every single time, you'll have a chance for you to establish that power that's already within you. Always keep this in mind. Power is not outside of you. It's always been inside of you. Before you can actually acknowledge anything that's outside of you, you have to know yourself within and understand how your energy is able to build you up at a greatest height for you to be able to connect with anything and everything that is outside of you. That is very natural and organic to your body. Now you're creating the chemistry relationship, the very same feeling that you have when you think you're in love with somebody else. Now you're having to build up all of that relationship with nature so that you can actually become profound within and start to sparkle that light that you have, that cosmic light that you have inside of you, in order for you to start to be at this brain power function and understanding yourself, who you truly are. And that's how you keep up with your spiritual work all the time. Now, today, I really want to go deep into something that's going to literally change people's lives in understanding the power of the system that has been trying by all means to make sure that everybody has to bow down to them and be submissive to the system, because it is something that has been fed to you through kindergarten, through education, university, and all of that, right? It is something that's man-made so that they can easily be able to control the mind and the mass of people at the same time. Without all this they have actually brought into your mind, they were not going to be able to sustain everybody in this planet and control them as the one route that's going to make things much more easier for them. They don't want to make things easy for you at all. They want to make things easy for themselves. And the end result for that, things become hard for you. Therefore, it is hard for you to establish this power that you have inside of you, because every time when you try to make it rise, they are putting it to sleep, especially if you don't understand how this power comes to be, how to unleash this beast within you, how to activate the 666, which is actually 999, 666 upside down. You know what I'm saying? We are the 9 ether beings, right? It's the 9 number. The same thing that happens, or that is actual when we are here in this planet. This planet is the 9th realm, right? Within this planet, there are planets, 8 of them, that are following each other from above and below. We are in the middle center, the 9th realm. We are the 9th ether being, right? Hence the 666, that they turn it upside down to make you think it's actually connected to 144,000. But I'm not going to dive deep into that. Just wanted to make you understand that you are the beast they always talk about. The beautiful beast that has the power within to unleash, the formidable power that is able to destroy anything that is negative, that is foreign to nature and non-organic. You get what I'm saying? So I just want you to make this greater understanding how they have polluted your mind to think the way you are doing today. And if it is the first time watching this video, I want you to open your mind and be open-minded for you to understand, or you won't be able to survive the information that I'm going to talk about here, right? You have to be open-minded. Of course, you shouldn't take everything as I say as something you want to believe in or follow completely, but take this as an educational step for you to do your further research, because many a times the problem is that when people come get connected to this information, they start charging, they start actually speaking words without having to make their own research. Because definitely everything that I'm talking about, if you make a research, you'll be able to understand it way better, right? And you accumulate your own research of information and how to put things into perspective that's going to bring a greater understanding to you, because all of us, we understand in a different way. At the end of the day, we're able to understand what that one thing we are trying to get at when it comes to information downloads for us to actually better understand what is that's really happening in this world, inside of our bodies, or anywhere in the world that has to do with nature, right? So that's how you build yourself up. And that way you're actually practicing to better your mind, to think and to be creative with your thoughts as well, right? There's one thing that you're going to think, but if you are not creative enough, you won't be able to always grow the mental power within your brain that you have. That's going to actually make things much more clear in your path you go to every time when you start a spiritual journey or any other journey for that matter, right? So when you're able to process all of that, build yourself up and understand that you're opening the field of understanding and understanding in each and every information in detail that's actually been given to you. And that's how you grow your mind. That's how you grow your pineal gland, right? You grow all of this aspects within you. You start to be celestial, start to be spiritual. You start to actually walk the walks of the spirituality. And now you're existing in this hidden dimension that is connected with the frequencies of high vibration, your fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension, going on and unlimited, right? Now you're connecting, and then it makes things much more easier. Your mind becomes to be broad. You're opening up now. You're expanding. Your aura is expanding. Your energy is expanding. Now you're gaining all of that power of understanding within, to the point that nobody else in this world, planet, anywhere in the cosmos that will ever make you a fool. You will reconsider before you listen to somebody else first. You will know that what you're telling me does not add up. It is a lie. You're misleading me. Now you'll be able to see the difference, and it will never be hard for you. So take this video as an educational purpose. Take this video as an educational purpose. But some of the information that I'm going to talk about here are very deep. When you try to research it, you won't find it. Perhaps the other way for you to research and better understand this information is by going inward within your higher self and having the questions of asking, what was Ra talking about? Ra said this, Ra said that. If you're having to ask yourself through your meditation, then you'll start to dream about this information. You'll start to have downloads. You start to have all the information that's going to actually better understand in everything that you have to when it comes to this information, every single time. Growing up as a child, there's a lot that you already know because you're highly connected to your spirituality, right? Having the psychic abilities, having to communicate with astral plane entities, right? Having to communicate with your imaginary friends, having to understand things and see things before they happen. This used to actually happen within you growing up as a child, to the point that you actually forgotten about that because the system has made you to behave as such. From age to one, from a young age up to 12 years old, a child has that potential power and understanding. Around that age, you already know that the planet is flat, right? Yes, it is the phase. As I was actually telling you that we have nine realms within the planet. I'd safely say that it's like 9 planets within one major planet, right? And it's wobbling. It's like a wobble that is actually showcasing the flatness of the planet. Okay, and under one realm, there's another realm that looks like this planet, and so goes on below as it happens above as well. So automatically, as a child, if you were to be asked if whether or not the planet is round or flat, you would actually say that the planet is flat, right? That the planet is flat. That's how it actually put it. Then when you start to grow, they start to teach in your mind that the planet is round. Okay, the roundness of it is the dome that makes it to be shaped like the planet is round. It's just a dome. Okay, and the dome is only above, right? It's only above, not below. It is only above. Now you're having to establish this understanding that all of these rhythms are different paths, right? That is why it's not easy for you to overcome the dome, because you first have to go through these other rhythms as well. Different energy attitude, different frequencies, vibration, all of that goes on and on, including the below rhythms, but we in the center, in the middle. You get what I'm saying? So as a child, you knew that planet is flat. The planet is flat. It's not round. Okay. Why? Because you were still connected to the pineal gland. It was still highly active, not poisoned, not manipulated, because it's still in the age between 1 to 12 years old. After 12, that's when now your mind is easily manipulated. When you reach the age 13, that now they're changing the perception of your reality. They're creating it in a way that will better serve the system, right? Then you start to form this thing that you have dreams. I had this dream. It's something that's actually been engineered inside of your mind to think as such, because now you're at the age of making sure that your energy, you have to give it to the system so that they can actually better use it and continue to grow the whole entire matrix. Okay? That is the system. That's what it is all about. So this is depending on all the children the moment when they reach age 13. 12 going down, it's not, you can't manipulate that child, right? You cannot. They're still living in this higher frequency within them. The pineal gland is highly active. Its light is not dimmed down. It's operating. That is why around those ages, right, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, okay, you actually see, 12 to 12, you actually see spirits. You get what I'm saying? You see things before they happen. It was even strong and powerful. Some of you, like I made a thread on Twitter. I was talking about the fact that you used to actually hover on your bed sleeping. You'd actually feel your body rising. You wouldn't see it at all, but you would feel it definitely, that I was actually flying, to the point that you knew if I were to tell somebody in the house, they'll call you crazy. Perhaps a lot of you have been experiencing supernatural activities at home. When you were telling your parents, they'll actually think that you're demonic and satanic and evil, that you need to be prayed for. They need to take you to the pastor in order for them to actually pray for you, right? And all of your power now would actually diminish down, because now they've made you to doubt yourself, to think that you're really crazy when it's not the case. They don't want to allow your power to rise, because you have to remember that the moment when you are born, right, as a child, there are electronics that are so negative, they put in with the needle of the injection within your system. The moment when you go out as a child, when your mother gives birth to you, they inject you. Now, that is the first attack. They're trying to attack whatever power that you have. Number two, they take your DNA sample, the bloodline. They want to check who you are. If you're really coming from the stars, right, and like you're an extraterrestrial being like myself, then it is a problem from these people. Now they start to build up a frequency vibration that is so negative that's going to come and attack your parents and teach how you should actually grow. Everything that you're doing, when your power rises, your parent will be an agent to make sure that it doesn't do that. Because those who have taken your blood sample, they have made studies about you, who you truly are, where you originate, who you are completely, to the point that they don't want to make any sort of mistake. They have to make sure that they use your parents as agents to fit the narrative in controlling you, so that whenever you try to connect to spirituality, something that is positive, something that is connected to nature, they try to stop it. That's what this is all about. They try to stop it. So everything is actually being, looked up into very seriously. And those who would like to control the mass of people, they want to do it without having to have interactions with extraterrestrial beings in this planet who are trying to establish and make everybody remember who they truly are. Extraterrestrial beings is not something deep. right? It simply says those who came from the heavens, those who came from out of the stone, those who came from a different planet, right? They come as souls inhabiting this body because their true real identity body is in a different planet, star constellation. You know what I'm saying? A different planet, right? So that's what it means when I'm saying that an extraterrestrial being, somebody who's not from this planet completely, right? But I'd like to think that all the carbon beings, all of us, we are not from this planet. Not to say that this planet is foreign to us. No, it is not. We manifested it to this reality. This is like a playground, right? A serious playground. We manifested this reality in this planet, okay? Everything that you see, it was our own manifestation out of the woman's womb, creating it. I'm going to go deeper into that, right? Because we're gonna go through that line, because there's some very important information that you really need to know and understand. Now, going back to the drawing board, 1 + 1, growing up as a child, you knew that, let's just be honest, right? Try to remember this. According to you, you've come to realize that 1 + 1 is actually 2, right? Let me try to, okay, this is a bit upside down, but you actually get what I'm saying. 1 + 1 is 2, according to how you're actually being taught. However, scratching that 2, 1 + 1 is actually 3. That is the real answer, right? 1 + 1 is equals to 3. Okay? 1 + 1 is equals to 3. That's how you used to actually respond when they asked you what is 1 + 1. It's the same thing as I'm saying that you knew that planet Earth was actually flat. The moment you started to have a different perception was because now they have manipulated your mind to think as such, to think that the planet is actually round. It is flat with different realms on top and below. We are in the center of it, the 9th planet. And this number 3 is actually connected to the 9 highest form degree number, right? It is connected to that we are the 9 ether beings, the completeness of a carbon structure, right? 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, okay? The completeness of it accumulates to the power structure, right? That you are able now to ascend into this high reality, for you to actually better understand your macabre, how your body operates, and the system energy. 3 times 3 is actually 9, right? 3 times 3 is actually 9. Having to put this number 3, which you're gonna give an answer to when you're asked what is 1 + 1, you're gonna say 3. Repeating that number 3 times, it gives you the 9 number, which is the highest form degree of a number when it comes to the carbon structure. We being the 9 ether beings. But at school, they taught you that 1 + 1 is 2 for a reason. The number 3 is spiritual. That's why you always knew it, because your pineal gland was still active, right? Number 2 is physical. So they're trying to diminish your spiritual essence so that they can actually bring you to this physical world. Because this number 2 is connected to the physical world. They want you to understand the physical world without having to go through your spiritual essence. And that is wrong. You will never be able to understand things at a better level if you have not yet mastered the spiritual sense within you. So when you're now having to understand that 1 + 1 is 2, you're being brought into this physical world, so that they can actually easily manipulate and reset your mind and control you and tell you how to live every single time. It goes even deep, right? It goes even deep. It's like back at school, this is crazy, right? Back at school, I'll be honest with you, I was not good in maths, right, at all. Not to say that I was dumb or anything. It really confused me because the math that was given at school, it was not the real math. All of that math was actually turning people's mind. Because if you really want to understand spirituality, study numbers. Numbers are alphabets. Numbers are letters. Letters are numbers. Numbers are letters. Letters are numbers, right? If you want to understand spirituality at a fullest sense, you have to decipher the numbers. Numbers carry the very supreme energy that will make a greater understanding to what really is the universe when it comes to information, and how for you to actually download every information to better sustain and better understand your willpower that is within. That is why they always say that numbers don't lie. You see, numbers do not lie. So if you want to understand spirituality at a higher sense, study numbers. So with me at school, right, I've always been this person that I don't like following books. I never liked reading books. I don't read books even till to this day, right? Because every time when I read a book, I'm now subject to that information to whosoever that wrote it, right? That I'm not even sure if whether or not it's correct. If it's the reason why it's going to manipulate my mind even more far deeper. I was never a bookworm person, right? But I was very a genius person at school. But I never wanted to write answers based on what a book is actually telling me. I wanted to come up with my own answers for me to actually complete those questions, right? That's how I've always been. I'm still like this today, you know. So from where I come from, planet Zelenthia, that is not how math has to be done and processed. The way I know it is not supposed to be in the formula that they actually gave us at school. All of those formulas, within my mind, I knew that those formulas are here to twist our mind. And having to twist our mind to diminish the spirituality, power and essence, and be able to introduce you into this physical world. Every wrong answer you get from the equation they gave you, it is actually the right answer, because the equation is upside down. It's the same thing that happens. 1 plus 1 is actually 3. But according to this equation you've been given at school, 1 plus 1 is 2, which is actually wrong. So if I were to give an answer 1 plus 1 is equal to 3, my answer is correct. That's what I'm trying to say when I say that all answers you've been giving that were wrong in your math school, in your math class, they were actually correct. Because everything is upside down now. They've twisted it, right? Everything is upside down. That is why they've changed 1 plus 1, that is the real number 3 spiritually, into the physical number that is 2. According to the math which they gave you, that number is wrong. Number 3 is wrong. But according to the physical world, it is right when you have to actually put it right. So according to how the system has put things into place, the 1 plus 1, which is 3, they've made you to actually believe that it's 2. The first answer is correct, but to you, it is made to look wrong. That's why I'm saying that each and every answer you were giving wrong in your math equation, it's actually right. Everything is being constructed to suit the system, that when you think that this equation is actually the correct one, then you'll be able to actually formulate whatever structure they want you to build up in this planet. That is why, that is why many buildings, they just collapse. They're not strong enough because the math that you've been given is not actually the real one. All of it is just physical. It is not spiritual. For you to firstly better understand numbers, you have to decipher them in a spiritual sense. Because those numbers are what? Letters. That's what they are. If you can look at numbers carefully, you look at number, how to put it, you look at number 1, the way number 1 has been shaped when you have to write it in numerology, if I'm not mistaken, right? It is like this, okay? That's how it looks like, right? But that is an L. That is an L, right? That is an L. That's the number 1 is the letter L. You go to number 2. Number 2 is actually an S, right? It's actually an S, letter S, okay? Number 3 is W, right? When you put it upside down, this is number 3. When you put it upside down, it is W. See, all of these numbers are letters, right? All of these numbers are letters, all of them. So you have to really understand and decipher them. That is why the universe always communicates in numbers. Numbers don't lie. That is a language. Now, that is the highest form degree of language. You get what I'm saying? That is the highest form of a communication that you receive from your great ancestors, from the cosmos, because they talking to you through numbers. That's why you always see this repeating numbers all the time. You look at your digital clock. Oh, it's 11:11. You look at your digital clock again. It's 13:13. See, those numbers are letters and they're speaking to you. They vibrate at a certain frequency and vibration all the time. And the moment you start to see those numbers, something happens within your mind. The perception of your mind starts to change. You start to grow. Your pineal gland is active now. Your spiritual essence is rising, is growing. Now you're getting interested. You want to connect to nature because all of these numbers are connected to everything that is nature, to the all. All the answers all the answers are in the number. Everything for you to know and understand is in the number. Now, focusing on this number 3. Now I want to move on to a different phase, right? Something that will really shock you. Remember, I always told you that I've got some information that I'm not yet to actually talk about, but now I'm feeling free because the energies are allowing me and for you guys to actually better understand this. Now, the number 3 is very connected to a lot of things, but I want to focus it on something different that people never actually talk about, right? Now, 1 plus 1 is equals to 3. I want to explain this in the spiritual essence because I know a lot of you will be thinking that no, you're lying. 1 plus 1 is 2, right? Let me convince you, or let me make you understand and understand what I mean by that, right? 1 plus 1 is 2. The mother, right, represents a feminine energy. The father represents a masculine energy, okay? When both different sexes mate, right, in bed, there's a star that rises from the two parents that will later take on the principle, if whether or not the child is a boy or girl, will later take on the principle and the energy of either the masculine energy or the feminine energy, according to how the child will be like when the child now becomes outside of her mother's womb. So out of these two aspects, number 3 is the child. That is a correlation. That is a connection. That is a relationship. That is a 1 plus 1 is equals to 3. Right? 1 plus 1 is equals to 3. The number 3 comes when now the child is born on the 9th month. Because out of the two aspects, you became the third figure, which is the child, the star, the understanding on the 9th month. See how this thing is connected. It's connected to, number 3 is connected to a lot of things. If you want to build a greater understanding in everything when it comes to spirituality, in your equation, don't miss the maths today. There's a lot of missing number of number 3 in different formulas in equation. Completely. Because they're trying to make sure that this number does not create a relationship to a person who's actually better to understand and establish a knowledge when it comes to math. Right? They don't want you to actually know that, because number 3 is the key, right? The 369. When he talks about the fact that that is the key to the universe, he's actually telling the truth, right? Because 369 is actually one number. It's one and the same number. It is a spiritual number. That is why it is the first 369, and it is the last. All of those numbers before 3, right? The 6 and the 9. In order for you to come up with the 6 and to come up with the 9, you have to add plus with 3s, right? 3 times 3, what is it? It's 9. Okay? 3 times 2 is 6, right? So all of this number is very sacred, and they never want you to actually understand the greater power it has all the time. They want to control your mind and your perception, not to actually look into it. Because 369, it is the key to the universe. Actually, the number 3 is the key to the universe. It is a spiritual number. That's why I'm saying that when a male and a female, they start to be intimate, now they become that embodiment of adding the number 3, right, to the frequency and the vibration. You know what I'm saying? Now, moving on, I want you to actually understand this in a different level. I hope this video doesn't take long, but if it does, then I just want to take baby steps, for you to actually understand what I'm saying. Bear with me, right? And please make your own research about this. Understand and understand, but everything that I'm saying, you might not actually find it from the internet, because like I always tell you, I don't read any form of a book, man. Honestly speaking, I know this makes me look crazy when I tell people, but I don't books makes you lesser in gaining knowledge. You might think that you're actually gaining something, but books can be so dangerous to the point that if the book that you're reading is actually misleading you, you have a great potential of misleading the whole entire world, right? But I don't read books, but I'm not discrediting people who do. If you're reading a book, it's okay, right? Have a greater understanding of what it is that you're reading. Know your source. Is the source truthful, right? Make a deeper research about the book. Who wrote it? Make a research about that person. You know what I'm saying? Then you'll start to see and understand how to accumulate that information. Now, I'm going to say something that is very shocking. Many people don't actually talk about this, right? And it's something that they want to keep up with lying all the time, right? Now that you've accomplished and established the number 3, that it comes in different aspects it is, and how powerful it is, and how spiritual it is, right? You have to understand this. Wisdom represents a woman's energy, which is the feminine energy, right? The womb, okay? The great intelligence of wisdom, right? Then the father represents knowledge, okay? Which is the masculine energy. A child represents understanding, because now that the 2 parents have brought up a child in this world, the child depends on them for the knowledge and wisdom to better understand information and how to be like when they grow. And according to the sex of the child, he will have to take on the principle of whether or not the child is a boy or girl. If it is a boy, the child now will have to learn to establish principles of how to become a man, right? Uphold those principles. If it is a woman, a child now has to uphold the principles and the characteristics of a woman, how to become a woman. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying understanding. The third figure, right, which is which is one of the greatest information of deeper, not just understanding, understanding and understanding overall. Because now the child now has to collect the data of information from both of their parents to establish this powerful relationship, right? When it comes to nature and everything that is organic, okay? Now, there's this huge lie perception that I've also been talking about as well. I'm included in this, right? I'm included in this. Made me to think the fake moon that's in the sky, that it represents woman. And it's not the case. It's always been a lie. The moon that's up in the sky doesn't represent a woman because it is man-made. It is not real. I'll decipher that. Why is it that I'm telling you that it is man-made? Right? For you to actually understand what I'm saying. It is man-made. Now, the real moon and the energy that represents a woman is planet Earth. And right now, as we speak, we are inside of her womb, right? We are partly in her womb. I'll get to that where in her womb we are in and connected to. We are partly in her womb because the planet itself is actually the moon, right? Which emanates and radiates different colors. Again, what I'm saying now, it's not like if you make a research about this, you won't actually get it anyway, right? It's something that I've always known within, but I had to now bring it up again and download that information because all this time growing up, that made me to think that the moon really does represent a woman. But I've always questioned this, that it doesn't make sense. How is it that the moon can be at the same level with the sun, and yet again, it's actually been represented as one and the same thing? When they have a difference that a man is a head and a woman is a neck. It doesn't really it doesn't really make sense. To me, it never really made sense, right? So when you look at it in a deeper sense, planet Earth itself is the one figure that represents everything that is beautiful in it. The nature, the plants, the trees, right? The mountains, the waters, okay? The sea creatures. Everything on this planet Earth belongs to a woman's energy. That's where now you actually ground yourself. Remember, a woman has to be calming all the time, right? The woman is a calming figure. Anything that is negative that will happen, will try to make sure that you wipe your tears off. She's there to calm you down, to calm your senses. What happens when you taking off your shoes? What happens when you take off your shoes and start to connect with the ground? Now you start to be grounded. Your senses start to calm down. Now you're having control of your emotions. Every pain that you're going through, you're having control of it. Because why? Now you are grounded. You are able to think properly. You are able to understand things. Right? Why? Because you are grounded. When you eat fruit and vegetables, something that is organic to your body becomes grounded. You start to be upgraded at the same time being grounded. You start to be upgraded. Your senses start to be upgraded. Everything of yours becomes in a different way. Why? Because you're connected to the energy that calms you down. The mother. You're now getting all the wisdom, the understanding. The moment when the knowledge, which is the sun, pierces through the wisdom light of the moon, which is the planet Earth. Yes, I said it. Not the moon that's in the sky. It doesn't represent woman. And it's always exposing itself in the sky. The only energy that represents a woman is the planet Earth, because it is a copy and paste of what is known as the womb, what we actually created it to be. Because all of that power and the manifestation was coming from the the black dot, aka the black sun, the blackness, right? The background of what is true. Light can never exist without the darkness. So true light emanates and comes from the dark cosmos, right? Comes from the dark cosmos, okay? So the energy that represents a woman, today I want you guys to understand this. A moon has never represented a woman, at least the one that's in the sky. The real moon is the planet itself, right? From a different planet outside of this dome, when you look down in planet Earth, it's different. The light of the moon shines in a green hue color that usually becomes colorful in different dimensions and colors. All of these planets that are inside of this are one planet, right? The 9 planets. All of these planets, they're having hue of different colors outside of this dome. When you have to actually look at this planet from a different aspect, they become colorful according to the hue of the nature of this planet, because in this planet there's so many different colors that emanates or represents nature itself. Those plants, trees, grass, and all of that. It's a reflection of the planet itself. And that is the real moon, how it looks like. Not the moon that's up in the sky that shines light, because that light is an illusion. It's actually exposing itself, right? Light is not like that. No, it's not at all. Light is never like that. Light has never been like that. As a matter of fact, the fact that the moon shines in the sky is actually blindsiding a lot of people in this world, to the point that you can't even able to see the stars clearly. They filter that. Stars are not supposed to be all white, all of them, or all light. Actually, as a matter of fact, all of that light that's there, it's actually filtered. Stars, which are planets, they have different colors and hues, which represents itself when they come to actually be in this reality. You get what I'm saying? They have different colors. So all of this light that you see, especially in the moon, is just an illusion. It's there to blindside you, and it's even actually affecting you because it's anti-photon energy. It is against nature. It always affects nature. That is why women always menstruate every single month. It is because of it. But we'll get to that. Let me not actually jump. We'll get to that. Now that you've got an understanding of the masculine energy, what it is and what it represents, right? The sun that shines up in the sky, it represents the masculine energy, okay? Which is the male figure. The light that shines into this planet is a cycle of what goes back from the black sun. The black sun delivers all the energy, right, to emanate the presence of the sun that's in the sky. Then it goes down and reflects upon the magnetic field ground, because it is the magnetic field, of course, right? Then when it actually generates the whole entire ground, now it penetrates to the trees and plants, and now brings that life and information and those downloads. That is why usually when you start to eat fruit and vegetables, you start to be wise. See, that's what they always talk about. Wisdom. They tell you that if you eat fruits and vegetables, now you're having wisdom. That is the information cycle from the black sun into the sun that has the knowledge power and put all of that information. It's like a pull factor. It's actually, the planet Earth is actually pulling that energy from the sun. When it delivers it, it rises back. This is like a cycle. It rises back again into the plants and trees, which you're later going to eat, as well as animals, right? Then you have the establishment of what you call the wisdom, because you in nature, you are grounded, deeply rooted and connected to the nature, okay? And that's how these energies work in hand together. Now, the child, which is an understanding, is the different cluster of a planet, also known as a star, because this star or this planet now wants to grow with this power out of its mother and father to better understand how to live life, because they carry all of those energies, those frequencies that will better sustain and protect you as a child who's actually growing up into this reality. You get what I'm saying? So let me actually now talk about the menstrual cycle. That moon up in the sky is the reason why women are going through menstrual cycle. And it's not just menstrual cycle, it goes even deeper and beyond. It is soul harvesting. It is energy harvesting woman, because woman's vagina is a portal, a very powerful portal that goes back to the black sun, the womb, you know, the power that is inside of it. The woman's vagina is a portal. And when that blood comes out, it is powerful for those who are actually consuming it, because it is energy. I know that your menstrual cycle, when you start to menstruate, the blood goes to the sanitary pad, right? But it doesn't really go there. Remember that blood is energy. The energy is being taken by the moon and is being delivered to different creatures. But I don't want to scare you, right? I don't want to scare you. I think I've talked about this so many times. Just that I wanted to touch base on that menstrual cycle is like, if the moon were to fall from the sky, women would stop menstruating. Listen, all of this thing they're talking about that you are dirty inside of your system, is all just a lie. That has been made on purpose. And now you're passing on the genes to your children, right? Girls, to now menstruate early. It's no longer the fact that it needs to be end of the month in order for you to go to menstrual cycle. Because of the genes that have been transmitted to the newborns or new children, anytime it might happen that you go through your menstrual cycle. Because this is actually like they're trying to mess up nature. They're trying to eradicate things. They're trying to change everything. They're trying to control all of this energy because it's going elsewhere, man. Someone is consuming your menstrual cycle energy because it is powerful. But now they no longer want your blood. They actually now are targeting from a youngest age, from 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now they want that blood. It is more powerful because every time they learn the understanding of menstrual cycle as it builds up, now they're having to gain a different aspect of powerful energy that if we consume the blood from the children that are young, that one is more powerful than the people that have age 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and all of that. All of the junk and all of that food that you're eating, that blood is not strong enough anymore. It's actually been corrupted. But at a young age, it's still pure because your pineal gland has these particles that goes through your whole entire blood to actually secure and give it power. Now they want that blood. It is more powerful than the one when you are at the age of 13 going upwards. They no longer want that anymore. That is why now you look at children now are getting to be in a menstrual cycle at an early stage. It's so shocking. But a woman don't question this. No one questions this thing. Nobody's actually questioning this. Because they've made you to believe that going through a menstrual cycle is natural. It is not natural. It is man-made. When the day they put up that fake moon up in the sky, it started to change a lot of things in people's body. The moon also affects us. Just because women are the only ones who go through menstrual cycle, it doesn't mean that we don't actually get attacked as males. We do. Not only that, it affects the whole entire nature. That is why whenever it's full moon, you see tidal waves. Nature's acting up, is trying to fight that energy because it is negative. So in overall, the moon really does affect everybody in this planet. But it always comes down to when you're now grounded and connected to the planet Earth, the moon doesn't actually affect you to that point. I've always told women, when you have your menstrual cycle, take off your shoes, walk with your barefoot on the ground, on the grass. Some of you are doing it, it's working. Some of you are saying that no, it's making things worse. But there's something wrong with you if it's actually making things worse. It means that you're now consumed into the matrix to the point that now you can't actually go back to nature, to who you truly are as a woman, to start to protect your energy in yourself, right? That is why ask yourself, when you're going through menstrual cycle, what happens? You go through pain, you become emotional. It happens with all of us as well. When it comes to an emotional side, you become too emotional. But it goes back to the fact that you need to ground yourself in order for the energy of the moon to never affect you. But when you're going through your menstrual cycle, you have to go through pain. Because all these alpha draconians, all of these creatures that are actually consuming your blood, they want it that way. It's the same thing that happens when they abduct the children, mutilate them. Before they can drink that blood, they need to cry, go through pain, torment them. The moment they kill them, they drink that blood for themselves. It makes them powerful. They don't want the blood that does not have an energy or that has released energy through emotional means, through pain. They don't want a joyous blood, giving a child a candy. Come, I want to slaughter you. The child is all happy and excited. No, they have to torment the child in order for them to get that powerful blood that is connected to your pineal gland. So it's the same thing that happens to all women. When you go through menstrual cycle, you have to go through. It is not pleasant. If it was natural, why should you actually go through pain? Why should it be that why should it be that you're not actually comfortable? You're crying, cramps, all of that. Some of you now are even ingesting like some pharmaceutical products in order for you to actually control the pain that is within. That is man-made. They wanted you to actually be like that and behave as such. So they're making money out of women. They're consuming their blood, giving it to these creatures, and it's benefiting them in the long run. That is why usually most of the time you look at the moon, from time to time it changes to be red. And I see people saying that it is the red moon, the red moon, the red moon. All of that blood energy is a successful evidence that they've actually collected the most now. And to them, that is a good sign. If the moon doesn't turn red, it is not actually fulfilled. Because it is it's soul harvesting. It's energy harvesting through menstruational blood. All of that is just harvesting it. And it goes back to gaining a lot of power to make sure that it blindsides many people when they have to die. Right? Teaching you that you need to go and look into the light. When you die, find the light. That light is the moon. How is it that they say that the moon represents a woman when it doesn't completely? It has never. The real moon that represents a woman is the planet Earth itself. If you're in a different planet outside of this dome, when you look at the moon, you see it in a different color. It has different hues of colors according to the nature, but the one that stands out the most is the green color that is connected to your heart chakra, right? That is connected to your heart chakra. Your heart is green, by the way, it's not red. All of that is just to lower your energy. But anyway, now you've come to understand what I'm saying, right? I want to go deeper for you to actually better understand this. Now, part of it, the planet represents a woman, but a woman, there's another different representation that people never want to talk about: the black sun, the dark matter, the black hole that gives all the energy, the power to the planet itself, right? To all the planets in galaxy, right? To the sun itself, the black womb, the triple stages of darkness. 1, 2, 3, triple stages of darkness, right? That emanates in the womb when the mother is pregnant with a child. That child needs to go through the 3 stages of darkness to actually exist and be physical, and to be born on the 9th month. See how this thing is connected? The dark hole is actually the womb. They never want to talk about this. The that is a vibration of a woman. It wobbles. I've talked about this before. See, that's how the planet wobbles. The planet is straight, flat, yes, but it wobbles. The straightness of it is wobbling. See, the sound of a drum beat, that's where it comes from. It's something related to See, that is a woman. That is vibration. That is why spirituality is connected to a woman. When it comes to women, you go to church right now. Go to church right now. Especially African churches. Go to church and look who's there the most. It's women. It's less men and more women. When it comes to us men, we have to work extra hard to be spiritual, but women don't need to. As a matter of fact, when you're a woman and you just gave birth to your child, you are able to, it doesn't matter what room the child is, but you are able to sense the child. Your senses are so great to the point that if a burglar, somebody is trying to walk inside of your house, doing this in the darkness, you are the first person to pick up the footstep. Then you'll be like, tell your husband, listen. Someone is outside. And your husband will be like, nah, man, there's nothing outside. You're probably dreaming. Yes, he won't hear it because his senses are not powerful. Your senses as a woman are greater because you are spiritually connected. You are that nature. Overall, completely. You've always been. You are the mother of all things, not only in this planet Earth, but everywhere in the whole entire galaxy, that they hide this from all women. And that is why they have to consume your blood through the menstruation cycle. Every single month, going through the pain. It is not pleasant. It is not pleasant, and you've been made to believe that in the Bible, God has punished you. but you're the same person who goes to church every single day. But let me not actually talk about that, because I don't want to, sound so silly with the truth. But that's how it is, That's how it is. So this thing goes even way deeper for you to actually establish this greater understanding, and for you to see everything that actually trying to hide from you. They don't want you to know these things. They don't want you to understand these things. Everything that they've been doing from school, the math that they gave you, it's all wrong, man. That's why I always say this, that every person who has a diploma degree, right, the highest form of education, it doesn't matter what it is the dumbest person in the planet. How are you dumb? Not literally dumb. This is a metaphor. You're dumb in a sense that your mind has been captured to the point that you've overthrown anything that is spirituality, that is organic and that is natural. You're only relying on information from religion, from the system, because it has taught you to master the matrix, to be part of it, to protect it. If somebody like me comes up with this information, you'll never take it, even though you see it that it is the truth. Right? You're incapable because your 33 vertebrae bone has been hijacked. It's been actually by alphabets that lower your vibration and frequency. Each and everybody, one of you, especially if you went to the Model C school, you had to write in cursive. You're literally cursing yourself, man. Like, you're literally cursing yourself. Cursive word, cursive spell. It is a curse. You're putting yourself under a spell. Under the guidance of your teacher, was actually giving you all of that information for you to write in cursive. You're now incapable, okay? Because they're actually controlling your mind, how you have to think all the time. They've hijacked all that potential spiritual essence that's within you. That is why it goes back to the fact that you have to connect with nature. You have to be one with your higher self. You have to look inward. You have to do meditations. You have to do your manifestations. You need to crack all the codes that are blocked for you, not to be able to create that relationship with you and your higher self. So all of this, they're trying to poison your mind. So it is important for you to go back to establish this relationship I always talk about, right? It is important for you to do that. You have to know yourself. Break free from all this negative cycle. They have brought you to this realization that is false, but you have to break free from it, right? So that's what I wanted to say. Please make sure that you make a great understanding in everything that I've said. Try to understand and understand it and make your own research. See through how this can actually benefit you. But this is all educational purpose. Love and cosmic light.